So maybe you're like me and you just don't use cash very much these days. You probably remember back in the day when you'd find some quarters in the couch or you'd put on a pair of jeans and find a couple bucks in the pocket. Now imagine, I don't know, finding $170 million in those jeans. That is basically what happened with the state treasurer's office this week. They found 170 million bucks in an account they hadn't checked on in about 25 years. How is that possible? Where does that money go now? I took those questions to WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie. All right, Laura, so let's start with the first question a lot of people have. How do you misplace this kind of money?
Well, the first thing the treasurer wanted to stress is that nobody actually lost $170 million. This was money that ended up in this fund little by little over the course of about 25 years. And of course, compounding interest helps it grow. So it's not like somebody dropped a stack of cash somewhere. This is money that's been growing for a long time.
Let's not get too into the weeds here. We're not accountants, but how does money like that even end up in an account like that in the first place?
Well, the state moves a lot of money, right? This is for capital accounts, things that you build, like say bridges, schools, roads, right? Big amounts of money. So when you have it sitting in an account for a while, it's making interest. Well, where does that interest go? It goes into this particular account. It was like a catch-all for cash, right? Like a change jar, like in the old days, right? Or if a project ends up being under budget, that extra money would go into this account. So, but everybody apparently somehow forgot that this account existed.
It makes for a great headline. It's also good news, I guess. I mean, here we are, an additional $170 million.
That doesn't hurt, right?
What can we do with it?
Well, it's limited because this was money that was set aside by lawmakers for capital expenses. So this money can only be used for certain uses. One of the uses it can be used for is paying off some of the debt that the state owes for all the projects that we've taken on. And that's what the treasurer says he's going to do with it. So
you have less debt. That opens you up to be able to borrow more, spend other money on other projects.
And you're paying less interest.
Right. Does this, okay, so you're looking at saving money.
Yeah. Does
any of that make its way into the budget conversation? Because they still can't seem to agree on that.
Unlikely. The budget conversation at this point is so far above the level of projects and borrowing money. It's they're still arguing over tax cuts and employee and teacher raises. So unlikely that this is going to make any difference.
It might not solve that, but helps us in other places.
Still $170 million. I mean, it's not chump change.
Thanks, Laura. So this is a story that also comes with a little side of irony, since one of the main functions of the Treasury is to help people find money, unclaimed money that they didn't know was there. This can be from a forgotten bank account, uncashed payroll checks when people change jobs, refunds or insurance policies, security deposits or safety deposit boxes, even inheritance. In 2024, the Treasurer's Office helped people find and claim a record $115 million in missing money. It also reported unclaimed property, 22.3 million properties representing $1.3 billion, all still waiting to be claimed. Last year, when Dale Folwell was still the treasurer, he brought this huge check to a woman in Durham. She had over $67,000 unclaimed, and the state treasury returned that to her. That would be nice. It's been a long time covering this sort of thing. WRAL-5 on your side has covered this for decades. Here's a story we ran back in 2006 of people finding pretty nice chunks of change that were just sitting there waiting for them. I know what you're thinking. Do I have some money out there? Well, you might, maybe, and it's easy to check. You just go to nccash.gov, you type in your name, and you see what pops up. It's free, no fees, no middleman, nothing like that, just money that could be yours. Because if the Treasurer's Office can stumble across $170 million, you never know what might be out there waiting for you.